Hello everybody, my name is Walter and I am doing some filming with drones. Today I would like to share with you some experience I had when I forgot to push the record button when I wanted to film some footage with the drone. That's a mistake which should not happen, and it's really troublesome when you finally find out that the footage you wanted to capture actually is not on your memory. So let's explain how it happened. Actually, there are two cases which are just in my mind, which were quite sad finally. So first story was I was filming for a topping out ceremony for a temple, and the situation was the event should be filmed and transmitted live as a live stream to a big screen inside the building, in the new building, where many people were gathering and listening to speeches, and then finally also live watching what's happening on top of the building when there was a golden beam placed as the final part of the structure in the roof area. So everything was well prepared. I went there a couple of days before the event to try the settings, try how the live streaming would work, how the mobile signal would be, to connect to the internet via the mobile network, and everything looked quite fine. Then on the day of the event, first thing I noticed that actually the data transmission was not so well. I assume probably because many people were in that cell network, and everyone watching and using the smartphone. So the transmission speed was relatively slow. Then it had to be arranged that the drone was in the air at the right moment. It was not clear fully how long the action would take, so it was important to start just in the right moment. And then on a signal from some related organizers. And then yeah, everything looked fine. So I took off with the drone, had a nice view, and I got the feedback that the transmission, the live stream, was working well. And so I followed the lifting of the hoisting of the beam with the large mobile crane, and everything from different views, for different angles, to see finally how the piece was installed. And also the transmission of the stream was quite well to the big screen inside the building. Sometimes there were dropouts and it was a bit bumpy, but that was because of the, let's say, poor network connection or overload of the network connection. So, and then after landing the drone, I wanted to see the result, the recorded, because usually when I do filming, of course, I push the record button and finally have the footage, the video file on the micro SD card, and I can download it to the computer and then do the editing. So, but when I came home and tried to find out what's on the SD card, unfortunately there was nothing. So I had only the footage which was in the YouTube live stream system, which was only in the quality as the actual stream went. So by far not the quality you expect normally when you record in 4K, where you have a very smooth footage, and so that was not the case. You can see here the examples. I show it in the background. It was not so useful for further processing, but at least some memory was created. So, and what had happened, basically some distraction. First point is the so why I didn't push the record button on the app on the smartphone. First point is so the live stream quality was a bit difficult. I could see already on the screen. Then there was the issue with managing the timing to get the instructions when to start filming. And of course also people were coming and watching and so on. So maybe that had some impact. So that means really be focused when you go out for filming with the drone, not to omit such an important point as to start the recording. So that was this one event. Another event I have in mind was when I wanted to film the arrival of a big cruise ship in the port of Kaohsiung, the Aida Bella, a big ship with very nice painting outside, very unique. So the plan was to film it when it's arriving in Kaohsiung. You have the one entrance of the harbor at the lighthouse, and it's a nice view. You can see the cliffs and the lighthouse, and then the port entrance, and you can see the ship passing by. So I went, followed up on the map where the location was of the ship, and I was there quite early in time and did some test flight first to find a good angle and to make some trial how to follow the ship when it was really coming. The area is a bit difficult. There are many no-fly zones. Generally, there's a limit for the altitude of 60 meters, and then some patches where you are not allowed to fly, including, of course, also the actual harbor area, which is also not allowed to be used by the drone. So I made this trial, did some filming and flying to find out a good system. And went back to my start point, landed, and followed the ship on the app to see the location when it's really arriving. And when it was close, I started again with the drone, took off with no problems, and really selected a nice flight path and could nicely follow the huge ship entering the harbor, and followed some from along the parallel to the ship, some further movements in the port. And then I went back to landed the drone, and I could see that actually when I went back with the drone to the start point, shortly, some time before arriving, I pushed what I thought turned off the recording of the app, and then came to the place where I was standing and landing the drone and pushing again the record button. So, and then finally the footage which was recorded was only the last piece where I had pushed the record button, which was only actually turning on the camera and turning off just after landing. But I had forgotten to push it in the beginning before taking off or after taking off for the main filming. So that was quite a bit disappointment. And reason for it, okay, it was morning. I had been biking to that place, maybe a bit exhausted because we were trying to be on time. So we had to cycle a bit fast. Then the local awareness about the rules needed to be considered. And yeah, otherwise I have no explanation. But it clearly shows you should focus on the job and maybe even have a small checklist available covering all important steps related to the filming by drone, especially when it's a bit non-standard situation where you could otherwise forget important things. Anyway, you can see the result of these two situations with the footage which actually finally was available, but is a lot of important material is missing. And indeed, these were unique moments. The temple story that happened just one time for this new building that cannot be repeated. And for the arrival of the cruise ship, yeah, the special thing was this particular ship with a nice livery. But anyway, there are other cruise ships, and this one will arrive to Kaohsiung again in about 2 years, I think. So also it could be repeated if the situation then is still suitable. So anyway, that was a little talking about the difficulties you can face when operating and filming the drone, operating the drone and filming with the drone. It's always a little bit challenge. So thanks for your patience, and I hope you enjoy the other footage I'm publishing on my channel. There's a lot of things related to architecture and urban development, especially in Kaohsiung City, where a lot of things are happening, and the city, I think, is developing in a positive way since a couple of years. So thanks, and see you again. Bye-bye.